Okay, so the number one most asked question is, who is my surgeon? I went to... Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a highly requested video. I get asked so much about my boobs, and so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I asked you guys on my Instagram if you guys wanted to know about it, to go ahead and drop your questions, and that's what you guys did. So that's what I'm going to be reading to you guys today. I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can, and hopefully I get out all the questions you guys ask me. I get asked so much about it, and honestly I get where all the questions come from because I was the same way before. I've never had surgery before this, so I know it could be very nerve-wracking, and if you're like me and you watch Botched, I know how scary it could be going to the wrong doctor, or even just not knowing anything about it. So I'm going to be giving you guys all this information, my personal experience, and hopefully this helps you guys out. And I know I get asked this so much and I don't always have time to get to all the questions, but this is why I'm making this video, so you guys can go ahead and just watch it, and I hope it just helps you guys out. So let's get right into this video. Okay, so the number one most asked question is, who is my surgeon? I went to Devine Image in Tustin, and I'm going to go ahead and link their Instagram down below, and I'll also put it on the screen somewhere, and I'll put the doctor as well so you guys could see it. The way I had found this doctor was actually through an old friend of mine. She got hers done a few years back, and I really loved the way they looked. I liked how they looked then, and I kind of just watched her process and how they dropped and how natural they looked. So that's what I wanted. I didn't want porn star big boobs. I just wanted something bigger because I was flat, and what I do as a living, I kind of needed something there. So that's kind of why I originally wanted them to begin with, just to enhance myself. So I had found them through her, and what kind of caught my eye was when I was going for my consultations, they were talking about like how they're not big on social media, they don't put ads out, they don't charge much because they don't do ads, they don't pay all this money to put themselves out there, and they kind of just get their clients based off word and how their work is done, which is what I love. They're not here just to take your money, they're really here for their work and really just to try to please you. So that was something that really caught my eye, and why I had finally chosen to just go with them. I know a lot of people get theirs done in like Hollywood, and people go based off influencers and then find out later that that's not what they wanted. Everybody has a different body, and that's what you need to realize. You don't go based off someone else because they could start bigger or smaller than you, and that's why a lot of people don't like the results in the end, because not everybody tells you that, and people will go and they will choose and make their decisions based off someone else's opinion and not really your own. So that's why I really liked them. They made me feel super comfortable. It was my first surgery, and they were very welcoming, and I had so many questions. I'm pretty sure the girl was very annoyed with me, but she was so sweet. So that's who I had went to. So the next question is, how many cc's did I get? So I'm gonna go ahead and put a picture on the screen of me trying on the silicone. So basically what they do is they give you like a little bra thing, and then you put your sizes, you choose your sizes, and they'll give you the little bag, and you put them in, and you kind of just size it through there. And then you also take like a shirt and you put the shirt on top just so you can see how it's gonna look in a shirt. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it looks completely different. They look way bigger, especially if you're choosing to go under the muscle. They're gonna drop, and once they're put in you, they're gonna look way smaller than what they actually look like. So I'm gonna show you guys on the screen what they actually look like when I was just trying them on. I believe on the left side it was a 450, and then on the right side it was a 425. So I was trying between those two. The first time I ever went in, my first consultation, I actually was gonna choose a 350, I believe. I was gonna go somewhere around a 325 to 350, but I was trying those on and it looked way too small. But I was scared because when you actually put them on, I have really bad back problems, and just from having those on, I was already getting like back pains. And I was asking the girl, I was like, is this gonna give me back pains? I don't want my boobs like being too much for my body or weighing too much where it's gonna give me those back problems, because I already deal with enough and I don't need any more. The girl that had gotten hers done by them, I was talking to her, and she was telling me that when you get the implants behind the muscle, you lose about 15 cc's, and if I was gonna go with the 300s, I was gonna lose a lot and technically be back to where I was. And I feel like That's the whole purpose of getting breast implants. If I'm going to be paying that much, then I want it to be known. And that's kind of where I was like in between, because I didn't want to be too big, I didn't want to be too small. So I was like, where do I start? So she was telling me she got a 450. Hers looked amazing. She had around the same body type as me. So when I had went back in for my second consultation, I was trying on the 400, 425, and 450. And when I was trying on the 450, it just felt too big for me. It just felt like too much pressure on my body, and I didn't know if it was gonna look good. I just felt like it was gonna be too big, and I kept asking like the nurse, I was like, do you think this is gonna be too much pressure? It was like between the 425 and 450 at the end, but she was telling me if I do have back problems, I might as well go a little smaller, and the 425 is in the range of the 400 and 450. So she was kind of just heading more towards the 425. And once I put the 425 in, it was going to be a little closer to the 400, which isn't going to be too big. So when I was asking my friend about her sizing, and she told me that she was a 450, when I had gone back to try it on, it felt too big on me. So that's why I had chosen the 425. And the biggest reason for that is because everybody starts differently. Everyone starts with their own tissue, and that's a huge thing that a lot of people also don't say, is that yes, I could get a 425, and someone with bigger boobs originally could get a 425, but theirs will look way bigger than mine because I started with less than they did. So that's also something you guys need to consider. I, before surgery, was a 32A, and I was honestly flat. So that is something you guys need to consider, is where they started before. Everyone wants to see the results, but they don't see the before. And that's what you guys need to do your research on, how they started before and how they ended, because that is a huge thing, and that's gonna affect how you look. That is really going to affect how you look in the end. So if you're starting bigger, I would size down, and if you're starting smaller, I would go up in size. So that is something you guys really need to take into consideration when you're watching videos, when you're looking at someone else's boobs and how they finish. Yes, they look amazing. Yes, the size looks great, but how did they start? So you guys really need to look into stuff like that. So like I said, I was a 32A, so you guys can reference off that, and then I went to a 425. Personally, I still don't know what bra size that is yet, because I haven't really got a bra. I've been living the no bra life, and so I'm guessing though I'm anywhere from a 34C to a D. That's what I'm guessing. So yeah, I don't really know my exact size, but I did start at a 32A, so you guys can reference off that. Another way they were kind of like making me feel more comfortable with my size was actually showing me pictures of someone that was close to me and kind of had the same like tissue as me from before and from after, and using like the same size. So they showed me the 425 and they showed me a 450, and I really loved the way the 425 looked. It just didn't look too big. It literally looked where I wanted to be. So I ended up going with 425 cc's, and honestly I love it. I got it behind my muscle, and yes, this is another question I had got: can you breastfeed in the future if you have breast implants? Yes, you can if it's behind the muscle, and that's exactly why I got it behind the muscle. So yes. So the next question is, did I get silicone or saline? I got silicone. So my doctors were telling me that saline, yes, it's cheaper, and that is a perk of saline, but it does not drop, and it's gonna have your boobs looking up here forever. They don't drop. So that is why I didn't want that. I didn't want the high profile boobs where my boobs look like this and everything. I wanted them to drop, and the silicone, that's what it does for you. So if you ever look at a silicone bag and a saline bag, the saline is completely filled, so it doesn't give that room to drop or move anywhere in your boobs. It's literally just gonna stay there. And a silicone bag, it's almost full, but it's not completely full. So when you actually hold a silicone bag, once you're holding it from the top, it drops. And that's exactly what your boobs do over time. They drop, and that's why it's gonna give you that teardrop kind of boob, which makes it look more natural. And that's exactly what I wanted. It is more expensive, but if I'm gonna put something in my body, then I want it to be the best. And I'm not gonna cheapskate myself and end up on botched or something. So that's exactly why I went with silicone. I went with silicone. And also they were telling me that in most patients that you are able to see rippling when you get saline. saline. When you get saline, you're able to see rippling, and they also take longer to heal, which I didn't need and I didn't want. So that's why I went with silicone. Okay, so the next question is, how was the whole process and recovery? So like I said at the beginning of this video, this was my first time getting surgery done, so I was literally terrified. I asked so many questions. I was asking so many people that have gotten their boobs done, and I was really doing research. So if you want to get yours done, please, please, please do your research. I see so many people who don't, or who do it because of the price, or go out of state, country. I know there's doctors that are really good out of the country or out of state, but honestly, just please do your research, and do not do it because it's cheap, because I promise you, and I've heard it so many times, you are going to get what you pay for. So yeah, but back to the recovery. So my surgery was actually rushed. I had planned to do my surgery on like April 20 something, the 20th, but because of the whole COVID thing happened, they asked me to go in way earlier because they had an opening, and at that time is when everything shut down, so I was off of work, so I had the time to do it. So technically I think they say that 2 weeks before you're supposed to like do your blood work and all this stuff. I had done all my blood work within the same week, and then I did it like that Friday, and so that was all pre-op. I had to get my blood taken to make sure I wasn't pregnant, to make sure everything was good for me to go under anesthesia. So they have a surgery like room where they go. It's not in the hospital, it's like a little office for just like that stuff. I had gone there, they literally gave me like a whole book to sign, but I was so nervous, so I had my mom read everything for me, and then I was just like signing everything. And then yeah, I went into surgery. I'm gonna show you guys also another picture of me before I went into surgery. I looked funny, but I mean, hey. So my surgery was only about 45 to an hour, which wasn't bad at all. I remember I was laying down, and like I said, I've never had surgery before, so I've never been put to sleep. So they put the IV in me or whatever, and I was just looking up at the doctor, and I remember getting super dizzy, and I was asking him, I was like, am I supposed to feel dizzy? And I knocked out after that. And so after that, when I woke up, before I was so scared because I heard someone else coming out of surgery, and she literally sounded like she was drunk, like screaming, like slurring her words and everything. And I was like, I asked the doctor, I was like, am I gonna wake up like that? And he was like, yeah, probably. And I was like, okay. So yeah, I remember waking up though. I didn't wake up like that. I literally just opened my eyes, and the nurse had came in, and she was asking me if I'm okay, and literally 10 minutes after, she put my jacket on and I left. So like right after, I didn't look at my boobs for a good few days, because before the surgery my doctor had told me they're going to look lopsided, they're not gonna look good, so don't freak out. And so I didn't want to freak myself out, so I didn't even want to look at them. But they literally felt so tight. Like the whole first day, because I had surgery in the morning, so it was I think around 8 o'clock in the morning. So that whole first day, my parents have a recliner in their room, so that's where I slept for the first 2 days. I believe I slept on the recliner, and so my mom would just help me like get up and down, because I couldn't like lift myself up. I literally felt so much pressure. I couldn't stand straight up. Like, it was a lot of pressure, I'm not even gonna lie. But that's why they give you the meds. They give you like 3 meds, one for your pain, one to like release the tightness and all that, and then I think the other one was like antibiotics, so you don't get infected. So yeah, I slept basically the whole first day. I wasn't nauseous or anything. I just didn't have any like, I didn't want to eat. I didn't have an appetite or anything like that. I lost a lot of weight. People say that you're gonna gain weight, but I personally lost weight. I lost like 7 pounds. Yeah, so the first day I didn't want to eat. I was just very like, I just wanted to sleep. But after like the 4th day, I started feeling better. I was able to walk and everything. Massaging them is your best friend, but it hurts, and I'm not even gonna lie. It doesn't hurt like you can't handle it. It's more like they're sore. like when you're trying to, like when you're sore and you're trying to rub it out. That's what it feels like. So I slept with my mom for, I think it was the first 4 to 5 days, just because I would wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and my boobs literally felt so tight. I felt like they needed to pop, or like they were going to pop, because they would get so tight. So I would wake up like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then after that my dad kicked me out. So I had to sleep by myself. But after that I was fine. But to completely feel fine again, it was like a week. It was like a good week. But after that, it was honestly good. Also, I'm like the type of person, like I could deal with a lot of pain. So like I wouldn't take my medicine and I would let myself be in pain, just because I didn't want my body depending on like the medicine to feel better. So I think that's also why, or it could be a reason why I healed so quick and I got off the med so quick, because I wasn't depending on it and I would kind of just let myself hurt. And yeah, so for the first 4 days it was kind of bad, but then it started getting better and I would like ease my way off the medicine, and after the first week I just completely stopped using it. At least like the pain ones, I stopped using it. So after that I was good. It was, I would say like the process was like a good week, and then after that, I mean of course like they're still high and stuff, but you just gotta keep massaging them and using like the strap that they give you. And yeah, so that was my process. Okay, so another question is, what made you want to go through with the procedure? I kind of mentioned it at the beginning, kind of like what they were explaining to me, how they aren't in it for the money, they aren't in it for like the fame, they aren't in it for any of the reasons like you don't want someone to be in it. They are strictly in it because they want you to love their work, and like they said, they go completely based off like people's words, and that's exactly what like I loved. Like I'm not here to go to someone famous, I'm not here to go to who everyone else went to. I want to go to someone where I know I'm gonna look good, where I know they've done good work in the past and they're gonna do good work on me, because I'm not getting something messed up. So that's something like kind of sold me. Like through all my visits before, like they were very welcoming. They answered all the questions I needed. They gave me a lot of information. They showed me a lot of work. They showed me everything that they've done. I felt like I got that security, like they were gonna take care of me, they were gonna do a great job of me. So that's kind of like why I went through with it. And also just because I've been honestly talking about getting my boobs done since I was like 18, but I felt like at that time I wasn't ready, and I shouldn't have gone then. Like I feel like now I am ready. My job and everything I do, like it gives me more reason to. So that's kind of like why I went through with it. And especially because so I had my surgery in like the beginning of April, and at the beginning of the year, January, is when I had started getting more into modeling. And when I was trying clothes on, I would literally look flat. So I was telling my mom, like, I really need to do something because I need to fill this clothes in. I'm looking flat and it's just not looking good. It's not looking very pleasing to the eye. So she was actually very encouraging about it. And yeah, so that's kind of why I went through with it. She was actually the one that pushed me to do it more than myself, because I was like terrified. So I kept just like pushing it back. And the doctors had actually called her to tell her like they wanted to push my appointment before, and she was like, oh yeah, do it. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing it. So yeah, she was more the reason why, and then also my job. So yeah, but I'm honestly so glad I did it. I love them so much. Another question is, how much was the entire procedure, overall cost and maintenance, if so? So to like overall the whole maintenance, honestly I can't even give you an exact amount, because it kind of all depends on you and like what you want to buy after the surgery, or what if like whatever you need for yourself. So the procedure itself was $6,000, and that's actually very cheap compared to a lot of other places. I know in Hollywood and all those places over there, they charge over $10,000 just to get your boobs done. So $6,000 is what I paid. After that, I paid for scar cream, because I don't want scars and I want them to be gone, which was $50, which isn't that bad. But besides that, I didn't really pay for anything else. But like I was saying, it kind of just depends on you, and like if you need anything, if you need pillows that you need to buy, anything like that, it kind of depends on you. But the procedure itself was $6,000. So the next question is, where were your incisions around the areola, underboob, underarm? So I got mine around the areola. I didn't want any scars under my armpit or like under my boob because my job, I wear a lot of bathing suits, I wear very revealing things sometimes, and when I lift my arms you could see that, and so I didn't want any chances of that. And personally, I didn't know how long it was going to take for the scars to even go away. I know somebody who got their boobs done and they still have their scar, and they got their boobs done 2 years ago, and it's very, very noticeable still, and I honestly just didn't want that. I didn't want the scars, so I got mine around the areola. They explain to you, and they also put it in the book that they give you before the surgery, and it explains to you like the side effects of that. And one of the side effects was that your whole boob could go numb and you'll have no feeling in your nipple or like even the boob. And I did get that at the beginning. My whole right boob was completely numb. I didn't feel anything. It literally just felt like it was dead, I guess you could say. But I did get my feeling back. I could feel everything. It's completely fine now. It was only like that for like a month, so that's kind of like a choice that you choose. So that is one of the side effects, and I was kind of nervous about it, but honestly you can't even really tell that I have anything there anymore, so I'm glad that I even went with that decision. Also, it wasn't painful at all throughout the whole entire like process. I never felt any pain from that. Like none of my pain was even from that. All my pain was completely from just like my boobs feeling too tight. That's where my pain came from. The incision itself like never ever felt painful. So personally, I would choose that. That's what I did, and I would recommend that to someone else. Okay, so the last question I'm going to answer is, do you regret them or do you feel your choice was the best thing you did? I personally love them 100%. I love the size. I love everything that I chose. Like I said in the video, I chose a 425, and honestly I feel like I chose the perfect size for myself. I feel like they look perfect for my body. Sometimes they still look a little small to me in certain things that I wear, so sometimes I do kind of wish I went a little bigger, but in some things they look huge. So honestly, I'm glad with what I went with. I'm glad how they turned out. I'm so happy with them. And yeah. Okay, so that's all the questions I'm going to be answering in today's video. I hope this video helped you out. If you had any questions, if you still have questions, go ahead and just leave a comment down below, or you can also DM me and I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can. But I hope I gave enough information in this video. That's basically like everything I was saying was basically what I went through personally. So I mean, everyone has a different experience and everybody goes through something different. They experience pain differently. Everyone's story is a little different, but that was mine. But if you have any questions, go ahead and just DM me and I will try to read your message as fast as I can and respond, because I know I was getting a lot of DMs and I would see it from like a month or like weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I feel bad. But that's why I'm making this video for you guys. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time.